that. Uh, and today we will discuss what are phrasal verbs. Okay, so I'm sharing my screen. So let me first discuss today's topic. Okay, do you have any idea what are phrasal verbs? Can you give me any example? Srija?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, can you tell me what are phrasal verbs?
Can you repeat again, ma'am?
What is phrasal verb? See, in the screen it is written.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, tell me.
Um,
Okay, no problem. So we are discussing verbs now. What are phrasal verbs? Phrasal verb is a typical type of verb. It is basically a combination of a verb and adverb or preposition, and it creates a phrasal verb. So when a verb is combined with adverb or preposition, then it is called phrasal verb. Now, when one verb and preposition or adverb is coming together and making one meaning, so it may not happen the verb and adverb will carry their individual meaning. Maybe together they will create one new meaning. Okay, so let us see. Phrasal verb combines a normal verb with an adverb or preposition to create an entirely new verbal phrase, the phrasal verb. The meaning of a phrasal verb is usually unrelated to the meanings of the words that comprise it. So think of a phrasal verb as an entirely new and independent word. So phrasal verb is a verb and adverb or preposition, I told you. Now, the meaning of a phrasal verb is usually unrelated to the meanings of the words that comprise of. So, I want to like examples of phrasal verb. If you know anything, you can write in the chat box. So, when used in a sentence, phrasal verbs act the same as other verbs for conjugation and placement, although they do have special grammatical rules about word order, which we talk about below. Okay, now we are going to discuss. Let me see. So let's look at the phrasal verb get over as an example. So get over is a phrasal verb. Now get is a verb. It means to acquire, and over is the preposition. Now when you combine them, they are forming the meaning recover or overcome. Okay. So get over is a completely new verb, and like together they are forming a new meaning. You can use get over just like a normal verb in any form or tense. Here are some examples. You can use the word get over in the every tense, and according to the verb rules, the form will change. So in simple past tense, you can write, I had the flu last week but got over it. In infinitive, what is infinitive? We discussed it. So after this session, I will again give you a quick revision. So infinitive is when we are writing with to. So after to, we have to use the present form of the verb. So you can write, he wrote a song to get over his grandmother's death. What now gerund? What is gerund? Gerund is when you are adding ing with the verb. So getting over prejudice at work is never easy. Participle, having finally gotten over the breakup, they were already ready to return their partner's things. So in every verb form, simple past tense, infinitive, gerund, participle, you can use its own form, like which uh, sector will follow which rule, you can follow that. Now, how to conjugate phrasal verbs? So when a phrasal verb is used as the main verb of a sentence, you conjugate the verb part and leave the other words as they are. Simply use whatever form of the verb you would use if it were alone. So I get up at noon during the summer. However, this morning I got up at sunrise. I have gotten up early too many times this month. See, here the verb get up is changing its form according to the tense. So I get up at noon during the summer. Can you tell me which tense it is? Anyone? Varsha? Pavani? I'm asking what tense it is. I get up at noon during the summer. Srija? Unmute yourself and respond. Sanjita?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes. Tell me which tense it is. I get up at noon during the summer. Srija, which tense it is? Dipesh? Srikant? I think you know. Please respond. Hello? Hello? Please respond while you are in the class because you're attending my class and I'm interacting with you. Okay. So I get up. This one is present tense, simple present tense. This one is simple present tense. However, I got up this morning. I got up at sunrise. What tense it is?
Simple present.
Simple present. I got up. Got up is simple past. Get up is present, but got up is simple past. I have gotten up. Who knows? I have gotten up early too many times this month. So I have gotten up is present perfect tense. So we have also discussed these kinds of tenses in this class. So notice how only the word get changes according to the, but the word up remains the same. Also notice how get an irregular verb uses its irregular forms to fit whichever tense it needs. So in this way, you can use phrasal verbs in all the verb tenses. So you are able to communicate anything you want. So this is a phrasal verb, get up. It is changing according to the tense. Get up, got up, I have gotten up. There are three examples: simple present, simple past, and present perfect. Now there are some types of phrasal verbs. You can note it down. To better understand the phrasal verbs, it helps to organize them into two pairs: transitive and intransitive, separable and inseparable. So a phrasal verb can belong to only one of each pair. So what is transitive? Transitive phrasal verbs use a direct object, just like normal transitive verbs. So transitive verbs also discussed in the class. Transitive verbs are those verbs which has a direct object. Suppose Charlie couldn't put up with the mewing cats any longer. So here, what is the phrasal verb, students? In this sentence, Charlie couldn't put up with the mewing cats any longer. What is the phrasal verb here? Pavani, Chandana, see, if you are in the class, please learn something. Don't just be in the class and mute yourself, switch on the video, then you can go. I don't want you. I'm asking you, what is the phrasal verb in the sentence? Are you even following? Tell me what is phrasal verb, what I told you. Vinasri, Kavya, Chandan, Shiva Prasad.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, what is phrasal verb, Shiva Prasad? Can you please explain?
It's a verb with preposition
Only with preposition.
together. If you put me through, let me through.
So phrasal verb is only combination of verb and preposition or anything else?
Adverb also.
Okay. So in this sentence, Charlie couldn't put up with the mewing cats. Here we can easily understand that put up is the phrasal verb. So Charlie is the subject here. Now what is the object? Mewing cats. So this transitive phrasal verbs has one object just like the transitive verbs. Now what are the intransitive phrasal verbs? Likewise, intransitive phrasal verbs do not use any object. Like the regional director was late, so the sales team went ahead without her. So here, what is the phrasal verb? Went ahead. Went ahead is in past tense. So the actual phrasal verb is go ahead. Here you cannot find any object. So it is intransitive phrasal verb. And intransitive verb also has the same thing. Intransitive verbs do not have any object. Now, what are the separable phrasal verbs? With transitive phrasal verbs, you can sometimes put the direct object in between the words. For example, pick you up. There are, however, a few rules to follow with the separable phrasal verbs, like he forgot to shut the lights off before he left. Now, you can use the phrasal verbs like the verb and preposition separately in separate two places. It is not necessary that you have to use these two parts together. So he forgot to shut the lights off. Shut off is the phrasal verb. So this way you can put it. Inseparable phrasal verbs cannot be split up and must be together. So I told you, always can use it in separate section, like the wayward son carried on without his father. So inseparable phrasal verbs you cannot use separately. So here it is one example of inseparable phrasal verbs, like the wayward son carried on. So carried on is the phrasal verb here. Now there are some example of phrasal verbs. Back up. Support, it means support to defend someone. So when the class was making fun of me, only the teacher backed me up. Here they have used it as separable phrasal verb. See, backed me up. back and up. Okay. Break down, stop working, especially when referring to machines. So breakdown means stop working, especially we use it for machines. The ice cream machine at McDonald's always breaking down. Here they have used it as inseparable phrasal verb, like together. Now in the next sentence, call around. Contact multiple people. Roy call around to find a nearby mechanic. Call around means to contact multiple people. Now Roy called around to find a nearby mechanic. They have used it as inseparable phrasal verb. Calm down means relax after an energetic or irritated state. So I need a few minutes to calm down after the match. So do you understand? Do you have any query? Anyone has any query? There are 23 participants. Ask me. So you are following the class. So I want to ask Shomya, Srikant, Srinidhi. Give me one example of separable phrasal verb. We discussed just now. What is transitive phrasal verb? What are the transitive phrasal verbs? Who can tell me? If you are in the class, switch on your video and unmute yourself. Please unmute yourself if you are in the class. Did you understand the concept? We discussed phrasal verbs. Phrasal verb is a conjugation of verb, adverb, and preposition. So there are some kinds of phrasal verbs: transitive, intransitive, and also separable and inseparable. So I gave you some examples, and phrasal verbs do not follow the same meaning of the words which you are conjugating. They can make a new word and they can be used in the sentence. So we already discussed these verbs in the class. We can classify verbs into action verbs, static verbs, transitive, intransitive, linking, helping, modal, regular, irregular, phrasal, and infinitives. So what are the action verbs? Action verbs you can say like verbs which state some action. These are action verbs like run, scream, help, ignore, believe. All these verbs are denoting some kind of action. So these are action verbs. Now, example of action verbs in sentence. I work at a factory. Cats chase mice. We listen to the woman's amazing story. Here, all these verbs are referring some kind of action. So these are action verbs. Stative verbs. So unlike action verbs, stative verbs refer to conditions or state of being, like love, want, own, have, resemble, all these things. So example of stative verbs, the mention has 5 bathrooms. Ali loves her younger sister. My car needs an oil change. Here you can see the verb has no direct action. That is why these are stative verbs. Now, what are transitive verbs? Transitive verbs are verbs which has a direct object, like Leonardo ate a delicious pizza. So here, ate is the verb and it has a direct object. What he ate pizza. So that's why it is transitive verb. So there are other transitive verbs too, like the wealthy man bought 3 paintings. She really hates broccoli. So here all the sentence has one object. Now these are some example of transitive verbs I gave. Bring, cost, give, lend, up, offer, pass, play, read, send, sing, all these things. So see the sentence. Please bring me a glass of water. Here glass of water is object. My coat cost a lot of money. So lot of money is the object here. Our family gives gifts at Christmas. Here gifts are the object. Now intransitive verbs are the opposite of intransitive verb, like it doesn't have any direct object, like prepositional phrases, adjectives, adverbs. And examples are for these intransitive verbs, like airplanes fly, the children slept while the adults worked, the terrified monkeys hid in the trees. All these are intransitive verbs because it has no direct object. Now, what are linking verbs? Linking verbs are a special type of stative verb, like be, become, seem, appear, grow. Like Mike is a great dancer. The gold watch looks expensive. The mall got really crowded. All these are example of linking verbs. Now, helping verbs. What are the helping verbs? Be verb, have verb, be verb. In be verb, you can say, can you tell me what are be verbs? No one is there. So be verb is, am, are, was, were. Have verb is has, have, had. And do verb, do, did, done. These are 3 forms of do verb. Can, could is, can verb is there. Will verb is there. Now, what are the example of helping verbs? The musician has performed in concerts all over the world. My cat is getting slow in her old age. Cheetahs can run incredibly fast. So these are some helping verbs, like in the first sentence, has verb has been used. And the second sentence, present continuous. And in the third, can verb. Now, what are the models? Can, may, might, must, would. These are the models. Regular verbs. Jump. Like regular verbs are those verbs that is past tense. And past participle ends in ed, or the verb is a T variant verb. So jump, jumped, sleep, slept, try, tried, sleep, slept. These are regular verbs. And there are irregular verbs. In irregular verbs, the form is changed. Like am is are becoming was were. Eat will become ate, eaten. Not eat, eated, eated. Wrong form. Fly becomes flew, flown. Cat becomes caught and caught. Said becomes said, said. Now, phrasal verbs I already discussed. So infinitives are the verbs where we use to plus the present form of the verb, like to play, to ask, to see. So these things we discussed. So I also discussed, because you are for the first time, the verb, but I don't know you are listening or not. You really learned anything or not? I really don't know. So if I ask you, what are the models? Can you give me an example of models? Can you tell me? Anybody who can tell me what are models? Do you have any query? Do you have any query? Please ask me if you have any query. Can you tell me how many tenses are there? Kavya, Madhuri, Srija. Srija, unmute yourself. Sanjita, Shravanti. Okay, so you don't have any query. You can leave today. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.